let's talk about corporate news from East Africa's largest economy and market. That's Kenya. Keep grabbing the headlines, which analysts are digesting for investment decision-making. One of the firms drilling down the news box is CallStreet Research and Analytics based in Nairobi. And one of the directors, George Bodo, joins me now on the show. Good to see you again. George, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How's your day?
Not too bad.
No, not too bad. I'm sure you have power, so we're going to start with Kenya Power, by the way, provided. Say, what's the delay in the release of the financial results, by the way? Let's just keep that first.
Well, they announced, about 2 days ago, they announced that the full year results for the period ended June 30th, 2020, they will delay the results. Initially, they have a deadline of until end of October to announce. So they said they would delay until January 2021. But primarily the delay is because of, I told you, I think on this show I've said a while back that Kenya took almost a year to get a new Auditor General. And I think when the Auditor General was found a couple of months ago, there was this piles and piles of accounts to audit. So I think that is one. And then the second issue is that Kenya Power for me also has a number of audit queries that will actually contribute to this.
So the new Finance Act also has removed exclusion clauses for government-owned enterprises from tax payments. Do you think this will impact Kenya Power and KenGen, in which government have shares, though they're listed on the stock exchange in Nairobi?
Yes, it will impact them. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of them, a lot of government-owned entities still pay income tax, but they get benefits and exemptions on other taxes like value-added tax and withholding tax, and especially when they're importing parts, engineering parts, for instance, and they have to pay import tax and value-added tax. And when these are removed, I think this is negative for cash flow. But in any case, I think some of them also, because I think the whole point is that the government one is also at a tight corner in terms of fiscal receipts. But also these entities, and specifically you look at the energy entities, I think they've also not been operating at par. So I think the government is also fed up because a number of them are still go to Treasury for some conception for injections.
Let's move away from the energy sector and talk about the agriculture, agro-allied, where Kakuza PLC listed on the exchange is one company that's been in the eye of the storm, but it's now bringing in a new chairman, Nicholas Nganga, who was a former chair of Safaricom. Do you think this is too late, very big, but too late for this company facing a whole lot of cases over human rights abuses on its farms?
Yeah, I think this is very important for them because, over the last 3 months, Kakuza has been on the media, and especially the British press, for human rights malpractices in its farms in Kenya, in central Kenya specifically. Just to update your viewers, Kakuza is an agricultural company and majorly exports avocados and macadamia nuts. Those are the core products, and the bulk of its products are exported to the UK. And I think some of the reports, the human rights abuse reports, has triggered some big supermarkets to stop buying the avocados. And the case in line is Tesco, which has suspended the purchase of Kakuza avocados because of this. And I think the company has moved in swiftly, and on the face of that, it tried to give the company a local face by bringing in a few local directors, and one of them is Nicholas Nganga, who's now the chairman. The company is actually owned by foreign entities, South African and British entities, and it has never had a local Kenyan chairman, and this is the first time they're doing it. So I think we're likely to see the company trying to localize itself as it tries to fight these allegations. But I don't know, I think the damage has been done, so in my assessment.
Let's get into the banking sector. Egyptian bank minister says he's planning to open a branch in Kenya. Is your market ready for entry from North African region?
Yeah, yes, the market. Well, as to whether it's ready, that's the jury is still out. But this is going to be, if the transaction goes to fruition, this is going to be the second Egyptian bank to have a local presence. Remember, the first Egyptian bank to have a local presence is the Commercial Bank of Egypt, which was a local bank. And my initial gut is that even Bank Nisr will likely buy a local bank. I don't think they'll go for the greenfield way. I think they'll likely approach it from a brownfield way. But the market, certainly, in my view, has space for foreign entities. I think the only challenge is that the market here is not, and a lot of banks I've seen come here, this market is not a balance sheet driven. As long as they have that in mind, then they will succeed. But certainly, and I think they're also tracking the Kenya-Egypt trade. By the way, the volume of trade between Kenya and Egypt is increasing over the last decade. Egypt is probably is now the largest buyer of Kenyan tea, and there's a lot of Egyptian traders that are bringing in things locally. And there's also a lot of companies that are manufacturing products in Egypt and selling them in Kenya. Well, the case in point is Eveready Battery. Procter & Gamble is selling the consumer products, making them out of Egypt and bring them to Kenya. So they are following a trail which is very, very, very strong.
That's very interesting. If you do a massive tea export to Egypt, why not just stay in Kenya and drink the tea, by the way? At least the bank minister staff will do that. While you guys can watch the pyramid. Yeah, final one. What's happening to Cooperative Bank? Why is this bank jettisoning its expansion in Kenya? What's the story here? This cross-border thing. 30 seconds.
So just a couple of days ago, Corporate Bank made a turnaround in its long-term strategy, and they say they'll now focus a lot of their energy on the local market. Remember that Coop Bank is in South Sudan. They've been there since 2013. They've burnt capital there, they've burnt money there, they've never gotten back the money. And I think also Coop Bank is just not ready, in my assessment, for cross-border operations the way it's structured today. And with their experience in South Sudan, I don't think that they want to do any cross-border expansion again until they sort out the internal issues. Remember that Corporate Bank has just engaged McKinsey for the second time.
Well,
to look at its credit practices.
George, let's continue to follow this development. We'll continue this conversation another day. Thank you so much, George Bodo from CallStreet Research and Analytics in Nairobi.